The girl nobody wanted to see, full copy-paste voiceover script, emotional, human, suspenseful. It was Christmas season. The world was celebrating lights, love and joy. Airports were filled with decorations, children running around with Santa hats, people hugging their families, promising to meet again soon. But in the middle of that happiness, a silent storm was standing alone. Her name was Ariana James, a black girl, 18 years old, holding a small red gift box, the last thing left from her mother. She wasn't traveling for fun. She wasn't traveling for luxury. She was simply trying to keep a promise her mother made her swear to. No matter where you go, never stop believing in Christmas, even when people stop believing in you. Ariana boarded the plane with a soft smile, but the moment she stepped in, every smile around her faded. People stared. Not with curiosity, not with kindness, but with hatred, eyes that silently screamed, "She doesn't belong here. Why is she even traveling? She must cause trouble." Ariana ignored them. She was used to those looks. She had lived with them her whole life, but that didn't mean they didn't hurt. She chose a window seat, gently touched the frosty glass and whispered, "Merry Christmas, Mom, I'm keeping my promise." A flight attendant approached. Not with warmth, not with professionalism, but with irritation. "Keep your bag tight, don't make a mess, and don't disturb other passengers." Her tone wasn't a request, it was a warning. Ariana nodded silently. She said nothing. Because she had learned something very early in life. Sometimes silence is the only shield you have. As passengers settled in, whispers began. Why did they seat her here? Christmas flight ruined. I hope she doesn't start drama. She could hear everything. Every word felt like a sharp knife. But she stayed quiet, holding the Christmas box tightly. Inside that box was something priceless. A handwritten letter from her mother, the last words of love, the last piece of courage she had. The plane took off, lights dimmed, Christmas songs played softly, passengers smiled, except Ariana. She looked out the window trying to hide the tears in her eyes. It wasn't loneliness, it wasn't sadness. It was the pain of living in a world where your skin decides how you are treated. Time passed. The crew started serving food. When Ariana's turn came, the attendant accidentally skipped her. Everyone got food, everyone got drinks. Except her, she quietly raised her hand. "Excuse me, I didn't receive anything." The attendant stared coldly. "You'll get later, don't rush, others are more important." Passengers smirked. Some shook their heads in disbelief. Someone muttered, "She's just trying to get attention." Ariana lowered her hand, her throat dry, her chest heavy, but she still smiled. Because that's what strong girls do. They smile even while breaking inside. Suddenly, the plane shook violently. Turbulence. People screamed, cups fell, children cried. Fear filled the cabin. The same passengers who were proud, who were arrogant, who were hateful, were now terrified. The crew panicked for a moment. Announcements were shaky. People prayed loudly. Except Ariana. She closed her eyes, held the gift box, and whispered softly, "God, protect them, protect everyone, even those who hurt me. Please keep them safe." Slowly, miraculously, the turbulence stopped. Silence filled the plane. Passengers breathed again. Some cried, some laughed in relief. And then a little girl sitting 2 rows ahead turned around. "Miss, were you praying for us?" Ariana nodded. "Yes, everyone deserves to be safe." The little girl smiled. "You're kind. My mom said Christmas is about good hearts, and I think you have one of the best." Her mother pulled her back gently, embarrassed, but her eyes softened. One by one, passengers started realizing. The girl they hated, the girl they ignored, the girl they humiliated, was the one who prayed for them. But before anything could change, before any apology could happen, a new announcement echoed. "Ladies and gentlemen, please stay seated. We have an unexpected situation." Fear returned, people froze, and Ariana, she didn't know that her real story, her real test, her real destiny was just beginning when humanity forgot to be human. Full copy-paste voiceover script, emotional, long, cinematic. The announcement echoed through the aircraft like a cold wind. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. We are handling a sensitive situation." Whispers began again, fear mixed with curiosity. People turned toward Ariana because somehow people always believe if something is wrong, it must be because of the one they already hate. Eyes focused on her again. Suspicion, judgment, disgust. A man sitting across from her leaned toward his wife and whispered loudly enough for Ariana to hear, "I told you, people like her always bring trouble." His wife nodded, pretending to be scared, while throwing pitiful glances at Ariana as if she was dangerous, as if she didn't deserve to breathe the same air. Ariana swallowed her pain quietly. She had never done anything, never spoken loudly, never disrespected anyone. Still, the world punished her for simply existing. A crew member walked past her, looked at her gift box suspiciously and snapped, "Keep that box closed and don't move. Security will check it later." That box, her mother's last memory, the thing closest to her heart, they looked at it like it was something evil. For a moment, Ariana's chest tightened, her eyes burned. She wanted to scream, "I am not the problem, I am a human too," but she didn't. Instead, she held the box closer, like a child holding onto hope. The captain came out briefly and spoke to the attendants in a tense voice. Passengers kept staring at Ariana like she was the center of chaos. The same little girl who smiled at her earlier wanted to come to her again, but this time her mother pulled her back firmly. "No, sweetheart, stay away." Those three words, "stay away," hurt more than anything, not because they were harsh, but because they were spoken like Ariana was something dirty, something dangerous, something less. Minutes passed. Air became heavier. Silence turned suffocating. Then another wave of turbulence hit. The plane shook violently again. Screams filled the cabin. A hot coffee cup spilled on Ariana's hand, burning her skin, but no one cared. A passenger yelled, "She's bad luck. Ever since she came, everything is going wrong." Another shouted, "Move her seat away from us. She's causing panic." Voices turned cruel, hearts turned colder. The flight attendant suddenly walked to Ariana and said, "Stand up. We are moving you." Ariana blinked. "Why? I didn't do anything." "You're making others uncomfortable," the attendant replied sharply. "Uncomfortable just because of her skin, her existence." Still, Ariana stood silently. Tears hid behind strength, dignity wrapped around heartbreak. They moved her to the very back of the plane, near the toilets, near the noise, near the loneliness. People watched her walk down the aisle. Some shook their heads, some whispered insults. Some just glared, as if punishing her felt right. She sat quietly, hands trembling, heart breaking, but soul still refusing to hate back. Outside the window, clouds floated peacefully, completely unaware of the cruelty humans were capable of. She opened her mother's letter slowly, her eyes scanning the faded ink. "My brave girl, If the world makes you feel unwanted, remember, you were created by God, loved by me, and meant for greatness. Never let their hate erase your kindness. A tear finally escaped, not because she was weak, but because she was human. Suddenly, footsteps approached. It was the captain. Everyone fell silent. He stopped near Ariana, looked at her. Then at the passengers. The cabin held its breath. He spoke in a calm but firm tone. Some of you believe this girl is the problem. You've judged her, insulted her, humiliated her without knowing the truth. People exchanged guilty glances. Some remained stubborn, some crossed their arms defensively. The captain exhaled deeply. The real issue isn't her, it's something much bigger, something none of you expected. He paused. Tension filled the air. He continued, and right now this girl, the one you hated, may be the only person who can help us. Gasps echoed. Eyes widened, minds froze. Ariana looked up slowly, confused, shocked. What do you mean, Captain? He looked directly into her eyes. Because the situation we are facing is connected to your seat, your section, and something only you noticed earlier. Everyone turned toward her again. But this time not with hate, with fear, with curiosity, with realization that the girl they pushed aside might be the only light inside their darkness. And Ariana, she didn't know that the next few minutes would decide not only her fate, but the fate of everyone on that plain truth in the shadows, full copy-paste, long, deep emotional and suspenseful script. Silence wrapped the airplane like a dark blanket. Every passenger stared at Ariana, the same girl they hated, the same girl they pushed to the back, the same girl they wanted gone. Now suddenly, all attention was on her. The captain knelt slightly so he could speak softly, respectfully. Earlier, before we moved you, you looked worried, as if you noticed something. Did you? Ariana hesitated. Everyone expected lies. Everyone expected fear. But Ariana had something else, courage. She swallowed slowly. Yes, I did notice something. Passengers leaned closer unconsciously. The cabin felt like a courtroom, and she was the only witness. She continued, when the first turbulence happened, everyone panicked. But the man sitting in seat 17C didn't react at all. He wasn't scared. He wasn't surprised. He was calm, too calm, like he already knew. People gasped. Eyes turned sharply toward that row. Seat 17C was empty now. The captain's jaw tightened. Yes, that man is missing from his seat. Fear spread like smoke. Someone whispered, "He went to the washroom, right?" Another said. Or maybe no. The crew exchanged uneasy looks. The captain turned back to Ariana. "Anything else you noticed?" Ariana nodded slowly. He had a small black device, like a remote. He kept pressing it secretly. And when the crew came near, he hid it. I wanted to tell someone, but her voice broke. But nobody wanted to look at me. Nobody wanted to listen. I was invisible. The truth hit everyone like lightning. They remembered how they laughed, how they insulted, how they ignored, all while real danger was quietly growing among them. Guilt started burning, but fear burned stronger. A loud metallic click suddenly echoed through the cabin. Everyone froze. The aircraft lights flickered. Tension spiked. The captain signaled the crew urgently. Security personnel on board began searching quietly. Passengers whispered like frightened children. What if it's a bomb? What if he's hijacking us? What if we don't make it? Ariana closed her eyes and whispered to herself, "Stay strong, just like Mom said." Suddenly, a man shouted, "There!" Near the back galley, everyone turned. There he was, seat 17C tall, calm, cold eyes, hands behind his back. He wasn't scared. He wasn't panicking. He was confident. The crew cautiously stepped closer. "Sir, please show your hands." He smiled slightly. "No need to panic. This plane is completely under control as long as no one interferes." Passengers screamed. Someone cried. Someone prayed loudly. The captain stepped forward like a shield. "What do you want?" The man's cold eyes scanned the cabin, then stopped on Ariana. She felt a shiver crawl down her spine. He smirked. "I want her." Shock rippled through everyone. "Why her? What does she have to do with this?" "What is happening?" The captain's voice hardened. "Why?" The man tilted his head lazily. "Because she saw something she shouldn't have, because she noticed me. Because unlike the rest of you, she wasn't blind." The irony stabbed every heart. The girl they treated like nothing was the only one who truly saw. He lifted his hand slowly, and in his palm, there it was. A small black detonator device. Gasps echoed, hearts dropped, blood ran cold. "Don't try to be heroes," he said calmly, "or this Christmas flight becomes a tragedy." Children cried, mothers hugged their babies, people shook uncontrollably. He continued, "This wasn't supposed to be complicated. I had a plan, but SHE ruined it, because she paid attention, because she didn't judge with hate, she observed with clarity." Then he said something that broke every ego in the cabin. "You all looked at her skin. She looked at my actions. That's why she is dangerous and you are not." Shame flooded the passengers. Their prejudice, their cruelty, their arrogance had almost cost them their lives. The captain stepped closer protectively in front of Ariana. "You're not touching her," the man chuckled. "Oh, Captain, this isn't your decision anymore." He pointed the device slightly upward. Everyone screamed again. Ariana trembled. Tears pooled in her eyes, but her heart refused to collapse. She whispered to herself, "Mom, give me strength." The captain whispered to Ariana softly, "Stay calm. You did nothing wrong. We'll fix this." But Ariana wasn't thinking about herself. She was thinking about the crying children, the terrified elders, the mothers clinging to their babies, people who moments ago hated her, yet she still wanted them safe. Because her mother raised her to be better, kinder, stronger than hatred. Her fists tightened. This wasn't the end of her story. This was the beginning of who she truly was, and what she would do next would change the fate of everyone on board. Because you can silence a person, you can humiliate them, you can judge them, but you cannot destroy a heart built from courage. The cabin shook again slightly. The danger was real. Time was ticking, and Ariana was about to do something no one expected. The Christmas no one expected, full copy-paste, long, emotional, cinematic finale. The cabin trembled, not because of turbulence, but because fear had wrapped itself around every single soul on that plane. The man stood there, remote device shining in his hand, confidence in his eyes, and danger in his silence. Ariana's breath shook, but her heart refused to collapse. Her mother's words echoed inside her chest. "Bravery isn't when you feel no fear. Bravery is when you refuse to let fear control you." The captain spoke again, steady and fearless. "Listen, no one needs to get hurt. You don't have to do this. Put the device down." The man smirked coldly. "You don't understand. People like me don't get choices. People like me get ignored, just like you ignored her, just like this world ignores pain until it explodes." His voice wasn't just anger, it was heartbreak. It was bitterness. He wasn't just a villain, he was a broken human. Passengers looked at each other, shame tightening their throats. Ariana slowly stood up. Her knees trembled, her hands shook, but her voice carried strength. "Stop," everyone gasped. The captain whispered fearfully, "Ariana, sit down," but she shook her head, her eyes locked onto the man's. "You're right, people ignored you, people ignored me too. I know what it feels like to be unseen, to be treated like nothing, to be hated for existing, but hurting innocent people won't heal you, it will only make your scars deeper." He stared at her, surprised, uncertain, confused. "No one ever saw me," he muttered. Ariana nodded softly. "I know that pain. All my life, people saw my color, my skin, my background, but never my heart." Her voice cracked. "They didn't see me today. They didn't hear me. They judged me, insulted me, moved me to the back like I didn't deserve to exist." Passengers lowered their heads, some cried silently. She continued, "But even then, I didn't want anyone hurt. I prayed for them because hate is poison. And I refused to drink it." The plane went silent. Even the engines sounded softer. A child whispered, "She's brave." The hijacker's grip loosened slightly. Why would you pray for the same people who hurt you?" A tear rolled down Ariana's cheek. "Because my mother taught me something powerful. When the world gives you hate, give it love. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace." Her words pierced his heart like light breaking through a closed window. His breathing changed. Eyes softened, hands trembled. The captain slowly signaled security, but Ariana gently raised her hand. "No, let me finish." She took a slow, shaky step forward. "If you do this, children will die, mothers will die. Innocent people will suffer. You're already broken. Don't become evil too. You don't need to destroy lives. You need someone to finally say, 'I see you, you're in pain, and you matter.'" For the first time, tears appeared in his eyes. I didn't want to become this. I just wanted someone to feel my pain." Ariana nodded. "I do, because pain recognizes pain, but strength recognizes strength too. And I see strength in you even right now." He looked at the device. His hand trembled harder. For one terrifying second, everyone stopped breathing. Then he exhaled deeply, and slowly he lowered his hand. The device dropped. Security rushed forward. Passengers screamed. Crew secured him, but there was no violence, because he had already surrendered, not to them, but to humanity. As he was taken away, he whispered to Ariana, "Thank you for seeing me." She smiled softly through tears. "Thank you for choosing life." The plane erupted in cries of relief. Mothers hugged their children. Strangers held each other. People wept openly. The captain wiped his eyes discreetly. He made an announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we were saved, not by luck, not by strength, but by the heart of a girl we failed to respect." He turned toward Ariana. "On behalf of everyone here, I owe you an apology." Passengers slowly stood, and for the first time, they didn't look at her with hate, or suspicion, or disgust. They looked at her with respect, with admiration, with love. A woman came forward and hugged her. "I am so sorry. I judged you. I was wrong." One by one, people came. Apologies, tears, regret, gratitude. Even the flight attendant, who had disrespected her earlier, kneeled slightly, voice trembling. "I'm ashamed of how I treated you. I forgot what humanity means. Please forgive me." Ariana gently lifted her chin. "I forgive you, because forgiveness was her greatest power. When the plane landed, emergency vehicles surrounded it. Authorities handled everything. But something different happened at baggage claim. Passengers didn't walk away. They didn't disappear. They stayed with her. The captain placed a small airplane pin in Ariana's hand. You reminded us what Christmas truly means: kindness, courage, humanity. Nearby, airport staff quietly turned on Christmas lights. Soft music played. Passengers formed a circle around Ariana. Someone handed her cocoa. A child gave her a paper star again. A little girl whispered, "This Christmas, you saved us." Ariana looked up at the night sky. Stars glittered gently. And she felt it, her mother smiling from above. She whispered softly, "Merry Christmas, Mom, I kept my promise." Her heart felt warm, not because the world was perfect, but because she proved that even in the darkest places, a single brave heart can remind humanity how to love again. And that night, inside that airport, Christmas wasn't about decorations or gifts or Santa. It was about a black girl who the world hated until she saved their lives and taught them what humanity truly is.